We are getting set up to put all of our holes in the fixture plate here. And what I'm having to do, I need to pick it up and put some parallels underneath it. And I think my sky hook, my magnet, is going to be the simplest way to do that, instead of trying to pry it up or any other kind of methods to pick it up there. And I think it's going to work extremely well. This is less than the capacity of the sky hook, which is 500 pounds, and they do test that over that as well. I believe it was 110 or 120% of the load limit that they tested at the factory. So that's going to work out. I just need to get a couple parallels underneath the edges, because what we're going to do, we'll go ahead and drill these. These are just drilled holes out there, and then we're going to tap those over with the flex arm. And then, so these holes here in the middle are the counterbore holes. And if I shift the plate, if I just leave the table all the way out here and shift the plate that way, it's actually going to hit the column there. So I won't have enough room to have these holes out here, you know, clearing everything. So I just want to go ahead and pick them up. So that way we can just go ahead and do 4 holes in one setup, and then we'll pick it up and rotate it around, and then do the other 4 holes there. So much easier than trying to pick it up or pry it up. I'll make sure I got it square. All right, and then we'll just put a toe clamp on both sides right there, and that'll work. I'm going to use my center point right here to find or get as close to the center as we can. So what I want to do is just show you another technique that we can use to find the center of our punch mark there without actually using the indicator. So normally I would, normally what I pull out and show you is a Blake coax indicator, right? So what we're going to do is just use the pointer, and then we're going to use an edge finder to help find the center of it too. So what I'm going to do is move it in just as close as I can by sight. I'm looking at the point of that center and the scribe lines. All right, and we'll come down with our point right there, and it looks pretty darn close. Okay, that's close, and that's close enough for what we're doing. But let me show you another trick that we'll use to actually get it in a little bit closer than that. But normally this is for laying out a hole pattern like this that we're doing. If you just line up your punch mark with a center like this, just a ground center, that'll put you in close enough. And you can leave your plate or your workpiece loose and kind of shimmy it around and move it and line it up with the point there, and then tighten your clamps up. All right, so let me show you what else we're going to use. All right, we got our stare at center finder. This is also called a wiggler set right here. All right, we'll pull the chuck out. We got the chuck, and then let me get that so it don't roll off, and then we're going to use this point right here, okay? And this goes up into the chuck, just snaps in there like that, and it's got a little collet. Just snug it up with your fingers like that. All right, and we'll put this in the drill chuck, tighten it up, run it down there. Okay. Let me find, I've got a little wooden stick right here, just a brush. All right, turn it on, and you see now that it's wiggling. That's why I call it a wiggler. And let's just kind of straighten it up a little bit so that it's not wiggling so bad. All right, now what you can do is run this down into your punch mark, and it'll completely center it up once you come down, and just touch it. Don't come down and cause a bunch of friction. But now I'm coming off to the side here, and I can actually see that pointer twisting in the y-axis a little bit. So I'm going to bring this table back. Okay, now it looks like it's not moving. So when I come down into the punch mark, it does not look like it's moving now. So that is pretty darn close right there, okay? So we're gonna call that the center, and we'll lock it in place. I'm gonna zero out my digital readout just in case. We're gonna drill it right there. All right, nothing too complicated here. We just want to put a hole in there for our tap size, which is going to be 21/32. All right, and I like using a pilot hole to relieve the chisel point of the larger drill. So I'm going to spot face it with this drill it 1/4 inch, and then go to what did I say, 21/32. Looks like we're right in the center of that punch mark too. Looks good. You got a good sharp drill with a proper grind on it. It'll go right through that soft steel. And I'm dropping everything because it had hot chips on it. All right, going in with our tap size there. And of course, one last step we always do is we want to chamfer the hole. I'm going to go ahead and do the second drilled hole. That way when we go over here to do our counter bores, we can change up our tooling and not have so much change there. So I'm going to run the table all the way down this way. And if it doesn't reach all the way down there, we'll just swing the head around a little bit. All right, once again, let's move the table X, Y, and get it lined up on our punch mark as close as we can. That looks pretty good. I'll put the wiggler in there and see how close we got it now. All right. Need to make it a few thousandths X. Looks pretty good that way. Now I'm going to come around here to this side and look. I think we're there, really. It might be a couple thousandths. Yeah, that looks good. right, we're ready to get started on the inner holes here. These are going to be drilled 5/8 and encounter bored for a Allen socket head bolt right here, okay? And I wanted to, while I was at it, I was using my tray right here. I wanted to go ahead and give a proper thanks to Connor Smith, who builds these little tool trays here, and he sent me a few of them quite a while back, and I don't think I ever showed these on the channel. So I wanted to give him a mention and say thank you for the trays. These are some injection molded tool trays that he designed and sells. He's also got a couple other. I got a couple more here as well. He's got a smaller version right here. You know, so if you got small end mills or drills, any kind of cutter, you know, you can put them in that. This is another one that he designed that you can just, you know, lay tools in, use them different kinds of ways. And I think how he intended on these to be used is that you put some kind of substrate material in the back here, like maybe a block of wood or a thick piece of rubber, or, you know, a piece of wood with rubber on it or felt, anything to kind of give it some stability and, you know, make it so that it kind of has a, you know, a nice friction surface there to set on wherever you're using them. And you can certainly use these in toolboxes or drawers as well. Okay, so thank you, Connor. I'm sorry that it took a while to show these, but thank you for sending them to me. And I do like to use them every now and then, just like this. You can see I got all my cutters, all my tools right here organized perfectly on this little tray right here. So you can check out Connor. He's over on Instagram. I think it's CW Smith Co. on Instagram. I'll make sure I have a link up there to properly give him the recognition there. And so what we're going to be doing is drilling it. We'll drill it 5/8, okay? And the way that I like to do this is I drill it the pilot size. So this is the counter bore tool right here, and this is for the guys that are here learning. They're trying to figure this stuff out. This is a counter bore tool, 1 inch diameter, which is actually slightly larger than the diameter of the cap head here, which is going to be 15/16. But I don't actually have a 15/16 counter bore tool. If I do, I can't find it, but I did find a 1 inch. And then I stuck the proper pilot in here as well. These are interchangeable, so you can buy these in different sizes. You see the set screw right there. So 5/8 pilot, okay? If I get the caliber straight, there we go. So drill it 5/8, whatever your pilot size is first. Then we'll go in there and do our pilot, you know, our counter bore using that diameter for the pilot. And then after that, come in with your clearance drill bit, whatever size drill you plan on using. In this case, it's going to be 41/64, which will be, you know, 15 or 16 thousandths bigger than the diameter of the clearance for the bolt there. Okay, so I think we're ready to get started. Let's get going on it. So we got our counter bore mounted in the collet there, 3/4 collet, and what I'm going to use to set the depth, I'm just going to be using my quill DRO up here. So just like there, we're just touched off, right? We'll go ahead and 0 that. All right, and then I'll just watch this and go down, you know, about 687, which would be 11/16. Doesn't have to be exact. It's clearance for the head of the bolt to go down in there. So for a little bit deeper or a few thousand shallower, it's not going to hurt as long as we're deeper than 625. So let's go ahead and roll. I dropped it down to 135. I like to run these a little slower than what you would normally run at, just so you can kind of preserve them and not burn them up. Okay. Use plenty of cutting oil there to lubricate it, or coolant, whatever you got. Mist. I'm hoping that it cuts. Looks like it's doing the job. All right, 690, so that should be good right there. Slight modification to my plan there. I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and take it down to 3/4. We'll take another 1/16. And the reason why I just thought of this is I may at some point want to go ahead and cut the entire plate and cut it flat, which is going to reduce some of the material. You know, this plate is not perfectly flat, but in the intent that we're going to be using it, we're going to be adjusting the table. The whole table is going to tilt and swivel till we get the Stoker engine lined up. So it doesn't matter how flat the plate is, but just in case I do want to later on go ahead and you know, take the top and the bottom so that we got a nice perfectly flat plate, I might need a little bit more clearance on this. So I'm just going to go ahead and, it's not going to hurt a thing. We'll go another 1/16 deep. Almost there. 750 right there. All right, time for our clearance drill, which is our 41/64. Just run it through there to open the hole up just a tad. All right, last step is just break that sharp edge there from the counter bore. Just like that. Just break the edge, get rid of the sharp. All right, time to get all this cleaned up and we'll move down to the other hole. Try to give you a better close-up of the steer it wiggler or center finder there while we get this center punch lined up. All right, so side to side X, the X axis looks good, so you would be looking at the Y axis. Come around this side so I can see it. Okay, so it's leaning back. So I need to bring the table towards, you know, towards me out. All right, I don't see it moving now. So I think we're in the center right there. I'm not going to keep boring you guys too much with the same repetitive things here. So we're just going to go and I'm going to zero this out because I just remembered I didn't do that. Lock it. Okay. But as I was saying, I've already shown you, you know, what we got to do. And just going to keep repeating that. So spot it, pilot drill, 5/8 drill, counter bore it, and then clearance drill. All right, we got our, I drilled it, our clearance drill, and we chamfered it. So those 4 holes are done. So we're going to go from here. We need to go to the center. I'll just run the ram out for this and just drill it because we're going to tap that for 3/4 as well. And then once we get this drilled, I'm going to go ahead and pick the thing up, flip it around to the other side because I don't think I've got enough travel to be able to, we're almost all the way back here to where the you know, the ways are for the column, and I don't think that is going to extend all the way out here. I don't know if I want to bring it all the way out here. I might give it a shot and see what it does here. All right, so that's going to be the middle of the plate. Let me just look while we're doing it. I know that's not going to reach that outer hole there. Take it. So we'll have to do like I said, just flip it over because there ain't no way it's going to reach all the way out there to that one. It'll probably reach that, but that's pushing it. It definitely ain't going to get out there. We'll just repeat our setup. Using the wiggler there to find about that scribe line, and we'll go ahead and lock her back in. We got our center hole drilled, so we're ready to flip this plate around. It's about impossible to get all the dust and flakiness stuff off these magnets here, but I usually wipe it about every time. Sometimes you just got to pick it out of there with your fingers. Main thing is just making sure there's no chip hanging down there. Make sure the plate is clean. And then try to center it up the best you can here. Pretty close to center there. What I might have to do is pick it up and set it on the cart and actually use the cart to kind of, turn it 180, because I don't think I'll be able to pivot, swinging 180 up here. Get as balanced as good as I did the first time. So I think that we'll do that. We'll just go ahead and start over here. See if we can get it out there. Don't think it's going to make it. Well, we got it there. All right, I think we got it figured out that time. All right, well, we've successfully got it flipped around. We got our toe clamps there, securing it. A little bit better look at our counterbore holes. Let's go ahead and check it with the bolt there. All right, that looks fine. I think that's gonna work out good right there. Okay, we're on to the second hole there that we got to line up. Thought I would try to get you another shot of this so you can maybe see how it's worked. We'll just use the wiggler for the whole thing. All right, so I'm just going to visually just kind of line it up on the scribe line. I'm going to come around here next to you. Let's run it back. It looks pretty even, so I'm going to go ahead and drop it down into the punch mark. I need to go away, not too far. It's amazing how easy that thing moves like that. All right, let me come around here to this side. How does it look on this side? Looks pretty good. I think we nailed it right there. Yep, looks good. 0. To move it down to the big table now.